right, man. So I don't know if you've heard about this. This is the thing I wanted to talk about to start this thing off today.
Mm-hmm.
It may actually happen for us. The dream, long awaited, 6 seasons and a fucking movie.
A movie.
A
Community?
fucking movie.
No, I have not heard about that.
There are talks. Allison Brie has made comments lately. Joel McHale has made comments lately. I don't know if they'll get Danny Glover back for this thing.
That's
Donald
be
Glover back for this thing. I just said Danny Glover. He
did.
was in Lethal Weapon. Different
too
guy,
old
guys.
for
I
this
swear
shit.
I'm not a racist. But I don't think they're not getting Donald Glover back for this thing. But like, I give zero fucks. Like, give me a community movie today. Like, make it happen.
That's big. I
Like-
mean, I had pretty much figured that wasn't ever going to be a possibility.
Yeah,
Like, I thought they had just gone cold turkey. That was it.
I mean, Dan Harmon's got some clout now. I mean, on account of what's that shirt say there?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, geez, Rick.
Some obscure show. Nobody's ever heard of it. Rick and Monty. Oh, Morty. Rick and Morty apparently is the name of this TV show.
Yeah.
Geez.
Randy and Mike.
I got it all wrong. Oh, geez. Another thing I'm super hyped for, trailers have obviously been out for a couple of weeks now. House of the Dragon. Holy shit, the show looks amazing.
Oh, man.
I was never like a big Targaryen guy during the initial run of Game of Thrones.
Fire and blood.
It's
Come on.
not my house. I'm much more a House Martell kind of guy. Like, let's just drink and fuck, and we'll see what happens.
Oberyn is that dude.
Over Martell, R.I.P. You were taken from us way too soon. So in spirit of that, I was thinking maybe we do top 5 Game of Thrones episodes.
Okay.
No particular order because that's a lot of pressure in the moment. So hit me with one of your top 5.
So I'm not gonna front like we've never, talked about this before. I don't want to rob you of one that I know that that's dear to you. No particular order, and because I particularly enjoy this one, Battle of the Blackwater.
Blackwater, yeah, great episode.
Season 2, episode 9, I
Yeah,
believe.
209, yeah.
I mean, you got Tyrion and his speech.
No, it's epic.
You've got some amazing shit with the Hound.
Oh, Hound and the scene with the Hound and Bronn. I mean, that's classic.
Yeah.
Classic, like that's cowboy shit right there.
I think, I mean, that's one of the. It's like the first big battle, right?
Yeah.
Like
there
that
was
you see in the series.
Yeah, in the first book, there's a big battle, the Battle of Whispering Wood. It kind of takes place off screen. In the book, Tyrion fights in the battle. In the show, they didn't have the budget to pull it off, so Tyrion gets knocked out and misses the whole battle and wakes up to find out that they won, but they didn't win. It was kind of a ruse. Yeah. So yeah, Blackwater was the first like epic kind of battle scene, and it's weird because you think about it now and you think of what constitutes epic on a Game of Thrones scale, and you're like, wow, that at the time was just incredible, and it's still an incredible episode, but in terms of the scopes of battles and things, it eventually gets dwarfed. But at the same time, I think Blackwater focuses a lot more on the characters, and that's what makes it a great episode.
I agree.
Yeah, I can't guarantee it's in my top 5, but I'm considering it.
For me, just the feeling I had watching that episode, if there was not, spoiler alert for this list, if there was not another big moment before that you knew you were all in with the show, like that was it.
That was the one. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we'll get there.
I'm going to choose a lesser talked about episode 305, Kiss by Fire, also known as the episode where Jon Snow gets it in the cave.
Okay.
A lot of just great character stuff. Arya
Wild
and the Hound. John. It's an episode that you really appreciate when you start thinking about later season Thrones and what that was, where it was more spectacle over plot and character development, and it's just kind of a slower paced episode with a lot of great scenes between characters you enjoy watching. And it's one of my top 5. I just absolutely, that's an episode I could watch literally anytime.
Yeah, I'll have to revisit that one. Not too much outside of what you mentioned that I can remember, but yeah, definitely a bop. I don't think I'm being very controversial in saying this, but Hard Home.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely in my top 5.
If it's not in your top 5, I definitely need to hear your arguments. It's a banger of an episode.
Yeah.
Sorry, everything about it.
Yeah, and not just for, everybody remembers the set piece at the end, but there's a lot of great scenes that lead up to it. And season 5 in general, I think, is pretty problematic as a season.
Yeah, for sure.
And, you could already tell that the show wasn't quite sure what it was doing once it was getting towards the end of the George R.R. Martin blueprint. But I think Hard Home is a really good episode. It gives you kind of a thing that you didn't get to see in the books. Generally, it goes the other way, and this is a time where there's a thing that happens in the books. Jon Snow's not present at the event, but this is kind of a representation of what happens, and you never got to see it in the books, and it's just masterfully executed. I mean, it's a fantasy action scene, so yeah, there's some stuff like, yes, the White Walker could have absolutely just killed Jon Snow at the beginning of the fight instead of kicking him, knocking him back, or whatever he does. Right. So there are nitpicks, don't get me wrong, but I mean, where are there not nitpicks if you really want to be critical about pretty much anything in the fantasy genre? But yeah, absolutely standout episode. Sapochnik at his peak.
I think outside of maybe, and I don't know if this will be in your top 5. Outside of like Battle of the Bastards, I think Hard Home is one of those episodes where, shit is really hitting the fan.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You don't know who's making it out alive.
Oh, for sure.
And I think that's one of the elements for me.
Yeah.
What you got?
Well, I mean, like I said, Hard Home is definitely in my top 5, but I guess I'll go ahead and hit another episode. I'm going to probably go with The Mountain and the Viper, which I would guess is probably in your top 5 as well.
That's the one I was mentioning in the beginning.
Oberyn Martell is my absolute favorite character in the show and the books. Not enough screen time, but every scene he is in is just captivating. Like, you cannot take your eyes off Pedro Pascal in this show. Get that bag, my dude. Like,
right.
Go get that bag for sure. Money. Yeah, get that Mandalorian money. It's a great. We should have been used to it at this point, but the subversion of the hero does not win. Yeah. Well, he wins and loses, which is the unfortunate thing about it. What the really tragic thing is that he has that dub right there, and like he plays to. Man. What do you think about Mountain and the Viper?
That's him, though.
Uncompromising.
Yeah,
he lives his way.
If he's not gonna get all of it, he's not gonna get it.
Yeah.
The first time I ever saw that episode, I mean, holy shit. Even for an episode, or even for a show like Game of Thrones that takes it there many times before Mountain and the Viper, holy shit, it took it there.
Yeah.
I mean, just but yeah, is that the in that episode is where Tyrion is sentenced?
Yep, he
right?
finally he gets sentenced because he had chosen trial by combat.
I wasn't sure if that was
Oberyn had chosen to be his champion, which Wow, that scene, I think it's 407. That scene where Oberyn gives a speech and decides
Yeah.
to be Tyrion's champion. I mean, season 4 is my favorite season of Game of Thrones.
It's hard to
401, 406, 409. I mean, like, what a season of television. I mean, just the best season of television I think I've ever seen in any show.
Yeah. And I think when Tyrion was sentenced initially, I actually feared for his life. And I think that's one of the things that Game of Thrones is great at, and one of the reasons you love the show is no one ever really felt safe.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
We get into post season 5 and
Yeah, everyone has the plot armor on
plot
them.
armor. But Mountain the Viper for sure. So what we're three
in each, I think.
in. You're gonna have to help me out with the title of this one. That's not my area of expertise, but the one where the sept is blown up.
Oh, the Winds of Winter. Yep.
The Winds of Winter.
Sorry, we'll be 4 apiece here.
I mean, what is there to say about that episode?
I mean, first of all, I would start with Ramin Djawadi's score, which The Light of the Seven is some of the best scoring I've ever heard. I don't mean TV show. I mean in any form of media. That track is. I listen to it all the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've listened to it
shit
twice this week. It's an absolute banger. It is a top bop all the way. Even without the context of the show. I mean, holy shit. Yeah, I don't think there's not much in the entire series that matches the anticipation and dread when you're watching the scene and they're all in the sept and you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you know what's about to happen, yeah.
And oh man.
Yeah. R.I.P. Marjorie Tyrell, gone too soon.
Jeez. I mean,
out schemed. I mean, what can you do? Cersei, she plays for fucking keeps, for sure.
You do not fuck with Cersei Lannister. Like, don't do it.
Yeah. She brought a fucking nuke to a knife fight.
Let's see. That's
one left.
4.
Yeah. Man. Only one more to pick. That's a lot of pressure. I'm gonna let you go first.
I was gonna say I've got one on deck. Obviously this is not set in stone.
Of course. I mean, how I feel about anything changes from
right.
I have some lists that are like, nope, this is the Bible as far as lists go, but this is definitely not one of them. It's whatever I'm feeling in the moment.
If we're gonna squeeze one in there, and here we go. It's from the best season of Game of Thrones that ever existed, season 8. The Long Night.
You motherfucker.
The Long Night.
Oh, you bastard. I thought that was going to be my hot take. Like, nobody was expecting me to hit him with the season 8 episode. I know. We were talking about this last night. I shouldn't be surprised that we both kind of came to this episode based off our conversation.
It was actually going to be my lead off. But, I wanted to kind of save it for maybe this very occasion. But, I'll let you give your spiel because I know you have a lot to say about this episode. But
yeah,
go ahead.
It's not perfect.
Right.
I don't claim that it's a perfect episode. It's not the best episode of Game of Thrones. It is not the most well-plotted episode. You have to really suspend your disbelief a lot during the course of this episode. Like, wait, wasn't that character about to die a minute ago? But I don't think I've ever felt more tense watching an episode of television or a movie or anything. I literally could not sit down from the time the Dothraki made their charge at the beginning of the episode. Yep. I was on my feet for the entirety of the rest of it. When Arya, spoiler, kills the Night King at the end, I whooped, I hollered. I mean, Arya's my favorite character in the show, so nothing could have been better to me. And fuck all the fanboys out there that were like, Jon Snow should have been the one to kill the Night King. That's sexist. You know it is. It was the perfect culmination
Fuck
to
the
Arya's arc.
patriarchy.
She spent 7 seasons learning to be the perfect killer. And it makes sense that she was the person that killed death incarnate.
Right. Yeah, that the Arya moment for me was very similar to yours, I'm sure. I remember watching it with my wife, and I just completely exploded off my couch. Just, yo, Arya! Like, let's go! Like, how could you not love it? And, you got your haters, and how did all those White Walkers not see her running up to...
She
look,
is a master assassin.
right? Like, the seeds are planted. Like, watch the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, the long night. Oh man.
And
Epic
I
shit.
want to definitely emphasize, we are not saying this is the best or even our favorite episode. Just right now in this moment, this is in our top
on the
5.
fly.
On the fly.
Don't
it's not like
send us hate mail.
we planned an hour ahead on this topic because, I was like, hey, man, we're just going to riff on some stuff at the beginning of this thing. How you feel about that? And here we are.